Good morning, children. Today we will be reading a lesson that is The Portrait of a Lady, written by Khushwant Singh. If we talk about the theme of the lesson, the fact that generation gap is not an unsurpassable gulf is characterized by the fact that a wave of nostalgia overpowers us when we think of the simple and serene days of a childhood spent with parents and grandparents. We might grow up and grow apart, but the morals and the principles instilled in us by the older generation refuse to die. To understand the story properly, we will be analyzing how circumstances may change our lifestyle and look into our own lives to see if we may be paying less attention to some people and think of ways to rectify it. So let's begin with the explanation of the lesson. The portrait of a lady. What do you understand by the word portrait? Yes. So a portrait, it is a painting, a drawing, or a photograph of a person, especially one depicting only the face or head and shoulders. The Portrait of a Lady is part of an autobiography by Khushwant Singh, and in this story, the author draws a pen portrait of his grandmother. He beautifully unfolds their relationship and how it undergoes several changes. In other words, we can say that the story is a loving tribute from a grandson to his grandmother. The author recalls his grandmother as a very old lady, and for 20 years that the author had known his grandmother, he had found her old and wrinkled, and it was hard for him to believe that she had once been young and pretty and she had a husband. Grandfather's portrait hung on the wall of a drawing room, and he wore a big turban, wore loose clothes, and looked at least 100 years old. And one could imagine him in his youth with his wife and children. The author's grandmother was short, fat, and slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles. Her silvery white hair was scattered over her wrinkled face. The author's childhood with his grandmother. They were good friends, and in the village, his grandmother took care of all his needs. She was quite active and agile. She used to wake him up, get him ready for school, sang her morning prayers in a sing song manner, and hoped that her grandson would learn them by heart, but never bothered to learn them. She always accompanied him to the school as it was attached to the temple, while the author learned his lessons at school and she read her scriptures. And on their way back, she fed the stale chapatis to the dogs. The turning point in the relationship of the grandmother and the author. Here, the grandmother could not accompany him to school as there were no dogs in the streets. The grandmother took the feeding of the sparrows, and in spite of her immense interest in his studies, she could not help him in his studies. Grandmother, distressed and disturbed, she did not believe in the things taught at the English school and was distressed to learn that there was no teaching about God and scriptures in the school. The common link between the two, it gets snapped over here. The author's grandmother, she accepted her skullduggeon with resignation, means that she accepted her loneliness without any complaints. She spent her days of loneliness by engaging herself in the wheel spinning, actively reciting prayers, and feeding the sparrows. The author leaves for higher studies. Here, the author has decided to go abroad for higher studies for at least 5 years, and he was sure that his grandmother would be upset at his departure, but she was not even sentimental. She came to the railway station but could not show her emotions, and silently she kissed him on his forehead. And the author thought that perhaps it was the last sign of physical contact between them. After 5 years, when the author returned back, he found her more religious and more self contained. However, something strange happened to her in the evening. She collected the women of the neighborhood and sang songs of the homecoming of warriors. And they all tried to persuade her to stop to avoid overstraining herself, but she paid no attention. She ignored everyone's protests and started counting the beads of her rosary. Her lips stopped moving, and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers, and she died a peaceful death. They met a strange sight to mourn her death. A lot of sparrows they had surrounded the grandmother's body, and they were offered bread by the mother of the narrator. But taking no notice of it, they quietly flew away from there, and then the body was carried away for the last rites. I hope the lesson is clear.